The Whisperings of Your Inner Voice. February 25, 2014. There is no doubt that you have heard your inner voice before, and there have been times you have trusted this inner voice, your voice of wisdom. It is this inner voice that knows what is best for you, but so many times you turn away from your inner voice, or you have allowed yourself to become so distracted that you no longer can hear it. When you tune into your inner voice and learn to trust in what it is whispering, the choices you make and the decisions you choose will seem as if they are answering themselves. When we urge you to follow your heart, it is because the direction your heart is leading you towards will never fail you. It is when you allow your over-processed mind to step in and decide against what your heart is telling you what is right for you at that given time that creates complications. When you learn to listen to the wisdom of your inner voice, you will discover not only your true and authentic self, but you will recognize what stirs your soul with the greatest of passion, and this, dear ones, becomes your driving force that propels you forward each and every time. For the many dear souls who have yet to exercise the wisdom found from listening to their inner voice, trust will be a huge hurdle to overcome, as they must learn to trust what they cannot see or hear with ears, but learn to know from knowing that is instinctual and intuitive. There are so many reasons why hearing your inner voice is so difficult that makes it even more difficult to trust. And the more you explore yourself, the more you will uncover. Even if you are somehow unaware of the workings of your mind, understand, dear ones, your mind is constantly busy and flooded by waves upon waves of thoughts, feelings, emotions and information that is gushing and flowing for attention and for action. There are times when your mind does slow down, but it never stops. If you truly take a moment or two to gauge your mind, you too will realize that you never shut down your mind. You are constantly thinking, processing, analyzing, interpreting, judging, giving comments and making suggestions all day, and many times you allow your mind to draw you into its unstructured and uncontrolled flow without even thinking twice. Now, if you were to slow down your stream of thoughts and reflect upon them, then it is possible for you to recognize that inside your mind is a voice that is something like a narrator of story. But the story is not something you read to your child. The story is your life, and the voice of your mind is your ego. Many times this voice may seem to be loud, whereas other times soft and gentle. Knowing you have so many emotional voices in your head, ones that are angry, frustrated, forceful, loving, compassionate, etc., it becomes difficult to hone in on your actual inner voice, the voice of your wisdom, the voice that is knowing, loving and kind. Just for a moment, dear ones, consider your true and authentic self as being the source of your wisdom that has no voice. Instead of connecting to you with certain words and thoughts, it connects to you through another method. Comprehend, dear ones, inner wisdom is all sensory and connects to you through certain sensations, feelings and emotions found within your body. The trick is noticing them. We know you get these sensations all the time, but because your day is so busy and your mind is often distracted, you have chosen to ignore most of them because you have not allowed yourself to tune into their meaning or purpose. So many dear souls are rusty when it comes to interpreting the message coming to them from their inner voice. What we have observed is that even if you have some amount of understanding to what you are sensing and feeling, many times you are too fearful to trust what you are feeling and choose to not investigate further, and not to follow through the wisdom that is coming through from your inner voice. It is the force behind your egotistic mind that prevents you from hearing your inner voice. It will drown out its wisdom so drastically that its whispers become imperceptible and obscure until you learn to rise above your ego. We have a simple exercise for you. Think about something you've wanted to do or try but you have held back for many reasons. The reasons could easily seem logical or even rational at the time for why you haven't started, but in truth you are afraid to begin. You may be afraid you will do something wrong or fail, but seriously, how would you know if you don't try? Think about the outcome you wish to reach and think about how important and significant this is to you and what it means for you to succeed in something you have wanted to do but held back. Will it help fulfill you if you began making steps towards this new direction? Would it help you grow and develop by completing it, and how will it help you grow? When you know you have been holding yourself back, even in a conversation. Understand why this is, dear ones. Speaking openly and honestly from your true self can be daunting, but if you don't tell the other person how you are feeling, how then are you to resolve any issues or share your thoughts or concerns? Speaking from your true self, being honest and genuine, seems to be such a difficult thing for so many to do, but the more you do even in little things, the greater your confidence grows and the easier it becomes to speak up, and share your ideas and what is bothering you. Your inner voice is there whispering, dear ones, encouraging you forward. Stop your mind from its busy attempt to distract you and just allow yourself to be, and you will hear. If you really think about it honestly and truthfully, you will agree that what you want is what is best for you, and it's always best to trust yourself and take appropriate action that will bring you into alignment with your values and true self. Your inner voice is gentle, not at all forceful. Your inner voice will instruct you with suggestions. There will be no force, simply an invitation to make a choice. Knowing this, your authentic self also knows and understands that you deserve to share your truth, but also realizes that you resist this part of yourself. You may be overcome by tightness or discomfort in your stomach from a lack of trust and use of your intuition. Then your mind takes over and creates larger issues by having you second-guess yourself and having you feel uncomfortable instead of confident within any situation, and many times can create fear where there was none before. Life is hard. It can be frightening. It is important to admit to yourself that some choices and decisions are scary. What is important is not to become stuck in the fear of trying. Sometimes you had to learn the hard way. You have gained scars and bumps along the way, and because of the experiences you have met, the wisdom you have accumulated is second to none. But it is your ego and busy mind that has you becoming your biggest critic. And at first your ego may seem as if it's trying to protect you from tasting the full flavor of life, but eventually your ego will make you its prisoner. Understand it is not silly nor is it foolish to listen to your heart and to trust the sensations you get from this divine core of your being. Don't deny yourself the happiness you deserve by listening to your ego. Tune into your heart and allow your inner voice to be heard through its subtle energies and ways. Did you know, dear ones, every time you choose to not follow your inner voice and the guidance from your heart, your energy becomes depleted? There is a sense and feeling of a loss of personal power which brings feelings like sadness and sometimes a deadening kind of feeling. You are encouraged to become more attentive to your sensations and to your emotions, because like all things, time will provide you the healing and nurturing required, and the understanding of the value of your inner voice and of the directions found from its guidance. If you want to start something new but were afraid to begin, just think, dear ones, of the outcome you wish to achieve that include all the positive possibilities that could result if you followed the direction of your inner voice. As you enter a new and more positive mindset, your intuition will be able to flow more freely as you begin to relax into your freer self, the self that is not overcome by a forceful ego, the self that is aware and knowing. As you continue to consider all the possibilities of this new direction, how you will grow, by answering certain questions about yourself, you become more connected with your total self. You learn the importance of honoring your values by ending the smothering pattern your thoughts once were that were governed by your ego. You begin to nurture yourself and your mind in new positive ways, and you will feel great as a result. When your total self is at peace and your mind is quiet, your inner voice is then able to come forward. There very well may be times when challenges will trigger negative thinking and thought forms to reappear, and you will feel yourself become uncomfortable and tight once again. Listen to your body's signals, pay attention. Your inner voice is speaking to you through subtle sensations that are for you to recognize. Then take appropriate action to bring peace and calm back to your mind, and not to give in to panic that will lead to stress and upset. Trust, dear ones, in your inner self and voice. Even if your ego is frightened, your inner self will know exactly what to do because it is derived from love. The more you practice tuning into your inner voice, the more you will trust in its direction, and the more your confidence will rise. Decisions will become easier as you have more faith in the wisdom that is coming from your inner voice, and life becomes simpler, calmer, and definitely more enjoyable. Always trust your heart. your intuition and inner voice. They know what is best for you always, and you deserve to truly live a life that is honest, heartfelt and authentic. And so it is. I'm Ascended Master, El Morya through Julie Miller. SpiritualNetworks.com